Hello to my beautiful patrons and my average looking people who could wait a year. I'm kidding, there's no hierarchy like that. You're all average looking. This is the beat poem episode of Fix My Carcast. The thumbnail's the hardest part. I want to get that smoky cafe look. And to do that, I'm going to vape because I don't want the smoke alarm going off in my room. Which, fun fact, it did 2 days ago from a candle. I don't know what was going on. I just walked in the room and the flame was going woo, 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 and I was like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? When your candles get down real low, throw them away. Is this based on any science whatsoever? Nope. It's going to take me a while to get this proper thumbnail. So I'm going to hit the vape pretty hard just to get some vapor in here and make it look like smoke. I do have a backup cigarette stub, but I won't actually be lighting it here in the room. So let me see how good I can do this. Okay, so stub in one side of the mouth, and then here we fucking go. Yeah, that looks good. Can you see the stub? We gotta see the stub, cause you know I'm a fucking beat poet, you know. All right, here we go. Yeah. Oh, so cool. Very hard to hold a prop cigarette stub while blowing actual smoke. I'm going to do one more for good measure. And by the way, this is probably also going to make the poem real shitty. Ready? How embarrassing. What am I, Tom Scott? Okay, I'm putting the stub away. Let's turn the vape off. That had to have been a thumbnail on lock. Watch this poem be about 5 minutes. Okay. I like to have a nice round starting number. I'm getting this out of my system too. Because, yeah, that's going to be... Now, I don't know what direction I'm going to go. Parody of beat poets or try to keep it legit? I don't know, but let me think of an opening line. And let everyone in the star-spangled firmament know Bear Claw Billy is born! I'm going to try really hard not to constantly quote the movie Bucket of Blood this whole episode. That was me getting it out of my system. If you haven't seen that movie, great movie. Mainly my understanding of beatniks. That and the movie Boatniks, which I don't think is about beatniks whatsoever. Also, this is where the theme song goes. I'm just being quiet. You're getting a lot of lead in for this one, like the full 4 minutes. I also have a backup mic going just in case these are too loud. Again, I have to resist the temptation to play them this whole time. All right. Let me moisten the old throat. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 164. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert will be playing a little freestyle jazz saxophone later tonight. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. Reject the squares, baby. You know where the good stuff is. Those secret areas, those back alleys of the mind. T-Public, go check it out. Get yourself a Fix My Carcast t-shirt. No new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $2,442. Honestly feels like there should be more stills. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? Get off the stage, you phony! Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to add a bongo solo? I'll do it! $50! Also, if you would like to own the painting I made in episode 118, I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right! Own a piece of Fix My Carcast history while you still can. If you'd like to see the painting before you buy it, it can be viewed in the raw video version of episode 118 over on Patreon. Link in the description. And I won't be saying that for much longer. Ooh, tease ahead. No new patrons this week, bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly, I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is dumb shit I did in high school. I'd give examples, but it could be way more fun to see me recall the horrors in real time. Want to know more? Donate today. Checking in on the best city in the world, based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and our big winner is Los Angeles, California. Congratulations, Los Angeles, California. Hope a bunch of talent agencies are checking me out. Let it be known that your City Lights bookstore, Vesuvio Cafe, and Six Gallery are the best in the world for 7 days. Excuse me, former Six Gallery. Last episode, I talked about Nikodim Kondakov while translating the episode to German, then back to English. I love my life. You can see video of the original recording, plus a little extra, plus a full text transcript of both recordings, line by line, for comparison, over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about some of the funnier bad translations, and also meeting Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl. I didn't even write it in my script, but wait, there's more! Also head over to Patreon for a series of behind-the-scenes recording sessions leading up to my next track dropping March 31st. By the time you hear this, I think 2 of them will be available. There's going to be a lot more leading up to the release. That is how excited I am about this single and about this eventual album. Please go check out all the goodies over on my Patreon. That's for people at the $5 or higher level. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: do it like an acceptance speech, doodle, record it on a drawbridge, and our returning gimmick, incorporate 25 sea creatures. Let's review. Number 1, do it like an acceptance speech. I'm assuming an award, but graduation would be too far off. Let's go with an awards acceptance speech. Maybe I'll change that when I write it up. Number 2, doodle. I'm not very good at drawing, and yet I'm selling a painting on this podcast. Nevertheless, I will doodle, and I will show you the doodles on the Patreon at the end. Number 3, record it on a drawbridge. Gang, Toledo, Ohio, Maine has a drawbridge, and I've been stopped by it several times, so what the hell? I'm just going to record an episode right next to where it goes up. We'll see if it goes off in 30 minutes. I hope so. That would rule. And our returning gimmick, number 4, it feels like this one's repeated a lot, but still in the running, incorporate 25 sea creatures. I will have to get the names of 25 different creatures from the sea, of the sea, around the sea, into the episode within the context of whatever the episode ends up being. What a fun show. Tell your friends. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, March 27th at noon Eastern America time. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is do it like a beat poem. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way, in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the zone of gimmickry. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'll take inspiration from a randomized Wikipedia page, which is flying to my fingertips at this very moment. And it is, what I see before me is a stub. It is too small to contain me. Much, much, much too small, for I can be much smaller than it, and I shall keep cycling through the articles until I find one that is the full breadth, depth, width, height, and love of my soul. Well, here's a massive article, and I'm just going to see if it's mostly years, for we are more than years. Time cannot contain us. We cannot let it. My friends, today I will be regaling you with the tale we all tell. The tale of Bane of Tulloch. Come in and know me. Sit down. Biblically probe the corners of my mind like a palace, a castle, like Tulloch Castle, former seat of the Bane of the Tulloch family. Many ways to spell Bane. That's B-A-I-N. B-A-I-N. B-A-N-E. B-A-N-E. Or B-A-Y-N-E. B-A-Y-N-E. Family of Tulloch. And there is only one way to say, to spell, to be Tulloch. And that's T-U-L-L-O-C-H. They were a minor Scottish noble family, but what family is not noble in its efforts to stay together, to be the glue of a fractured nation, to be holding, struggling, grasping at the reins, trying to pull humans together in one loud, delicious body that says, here I am part, I am not part of the Scottish clan McBean. That's a different spelling. There's so many ways to contain the proteins within us, the beans, the legumes, the soups, the stews, the chilies, the chowders, the melting pot. And I am melting into the pot. I am melting into the pot. I am feeding. I am nourishing. I am seeping into the ground, and what am I feeding? A tree. In defiance of gravity, reaching heavenward, sprouting branches, branching sprouts, or seps, S-E-P-T, S-E-P-T, of the Clan Mackay, another Highland Scottish clan. This is a branch, and I am a part of the plant, as I plant myself here in Time's River, a tree growing where no tree has grown before. Set a course for the progenitor of this family, John Bane Mackay. No, he is not Allen Ginsberg. No, he is not Walter Paisley. No, he is John Bane Mackay, the father, John Bon. Bon is Gaelic for fair, as in fair-haired. Drink deeply, my friends, and no more. John was the son of Neil Nelson Mackay, who was in turn a grandson of Donald Mackay, died in 1370. 1370. 1370. John Bane Mackay dropped his surname and used his middle name of Bane as a surname instead. struggle, aggression. War. There was a feud. A family feud. Come on down. In the form of a question, you ask? Well, there was a feud with Neil Nielsen Mackay that had resulted in the Battle of Drumnakoob in 1427 or 1433. Time is an illusion. Some friends of mine could tell you the cases in which doubly so that is, but I do not want to infringe. Do you copy? Right? Let's read on. Due to the conflict, that's the Battle of Drumnakoob. Drumnakoob. John Bain not only dropped the surname of Mackay, but moved from his homeland in the west of the country of Sutherland to the neighboring county of Caithness. There is so much about the family, but we are more than family. Why, as the great prophet Vincent Diesel once mused, I ain't got friends. I got family. 24 fast, 24 furious, always be promoting. All right, you Dingwalls, you Burgesses, you Duncans and Hectors and Gerlachs. This, I don't think we're going to get to the details about the actual structure. There's nothing about the building, it's just the families. Perhaps that's it. We cannot escape family. We will never escape family. What are we but our blood, skin, bone? What indeed are we? What are we? What are we? We are McGregor's. Wait, no, this is all right. I've got to say, this article is not a stub. There is no doubt in my mind or yours, but we are of one mind. But there is not a single fucking thing about the actual structure itself. Do you have questions? What color are the bricks? Who laid them? Did they have families? Where are their Wikipedia pages? I ask you, and you ask the universe. What are you? What is your place in history? Do you make it second by second? Or do you merely allow it year by excruciating year? You decide. You make the choices. You decide what happens to the castles and the families of this world. Because we are all one family. And this planet is our castle. And we shall not let it fall. We shall not let it only be remembered for the squabbling assholes, the battles between patriarchs. Is that the legacy we choose to leave? Nothing of the castle itself. Nothing! Much like our own castle. This green earth with its blue oceans and its yellow sun and its pink Barbies. And its green hulks. And its orange dictators. Oh, so the bane of my existence rears its ugly head. Once again, you cannot look away, you cannot deny it. Here it comes again. Is it all this? Is it all for this? Family records. People, they live, they die. We capture them in our words. We capture ourselves. Every surface a mirror. And vampires unwelcome. Tell me, vampire of the future, what awaits? Do I go out fighting? Do I go out screaming? Is it a scream of opposition? I may not live in the future. But I know my final sound. At this point in the broadcast, I would like to apologize to my neighbors. Because I left my laundry in the dryer for a little too long. Oh, and I guess also the bongo thing. But I think it's a fair trade because sometimes they're playing music with really loud bass while I'm trying to sleep. I sleep during the day because I work at the secret fireman's office, and yeah, it's rough work, but I'm hoping in 2 years it pays off. The trucking thing is looking promising right now. Yeah, as long as, things remain stable in America, I think I'll be fine. You thought the poem was over? The poem is never over. Because you will pick up where I leave off. And I've left off on Alexander Bain, second Laird of Tulloch's son, with his first wife, Janet Dingwall. What's in a name? Who dings a wall? Damn it, Janet, you're the finest of all. Anything can be an inspiration. Anything. Even Janet Dingwall, who I don't know much about, but I'm parched. And so I shall moisten my throat, wet my whistle. Guten Morgen. Scottish things. Scottish things. Scottish things. This is passing my criteria of being a long and lengthy article. But I've got to be completely honest. This is sports. This is a little tiny town no one's ever heard of. The two banes of my existence on this casting of a pod. Sports stubs, they're just stats and numbers. Tiny little towns, they're just population information. And yet, they are very real. They lived. They died. Their data was collected. Not to go all meta here, but my data's out there too. Never able to make it as a filmmaker, but now I have an IMDb page. Well, I don't. This show does, because we've decided to let the robots do the work. But they're taking the work I want. This very episode, whatever its title may be, I don't know, Perhaps the vampire of the future knows. Mark my words, whatever the title of this episode may prove to be, will appear on the Internet Movie Database. Why, I do not know. I have theories, hypotheses, speculations, concepts of a plan. Man, woman, camera, person, TV. Isn't that all we are? Cameras and TVs. Men and women and persons. Not for very much longer. Our time is limited. You can keep trying to reproduce. Beat back against the tide of time, trying to wash you away. Carve new canyons. And for what? You cannot outrun death. And I'm friends with a vampire who's been cloned by cyborgs or something. And even I know you can't outrun death. So how does it all end? Break into the studio and tell me, with your quaint little pin, most likely available in the gift shop now, what can't be commodified, capitalized, capitalismed, capitalgasmed. I'm your toy, 20th century girl boy. How's it going to end? I've been wondering that myself. Who dies first, me or this show? What happens to this song when I die? These are questions for somebody else. Do you think the Banes of Tulloch knew? Like Donald, Alexander, John, David. There's so many names. We could fill a lifetime with names, and indeed we have. I myself have tried. I love to carve a name into myself. 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 23, 42. Names beyond number. All carved in my skin. And mine into theirs. But like in a poetic way, not like a Nexium way. It's not weird that like I have a symbol, right? It's like a coat of arms. That I drew on someone's butt. John Bain, 4th Laird of Tulloch, died in 1669. Pleasing. Dude. Roderick, Ronald, John, Elizabeth, Margaret, John, Duncan, Alexander, Kenneth, Annabella, Rory, Ronald, Catherine, Elizabeth, Donald, James, Alexander, William, Janet, Kenneth, William. And it turns out that's how it's going to end. With William, the final name on the list. A name to be remembered by, if it is indeed yours. Mine is not. My name is of no importance. Unless you wish to be loved by me. And then you will know me so totally that you will not be prepared for the strength of the castle that we could build. I ain't got friends. I got family. As always, check out the episode 24 Fast, 24 Furious on IMDb. Sorry if you've been waiting for How Did This Get Made to come on. It goes like this for a few more minutes. The poem is never over. Well, wasn't that a poem with a beat?